did a walk a number of years ago. Had a very nice lady from Georgia. And about 3/4 of the way through the walk, she politely raised her hand and asked me, "Mr. Nelson, do you have any gymnoclades on campus?" And that made me very excited. That southern accent with the gymnoclades was just beautiful. And when she was asking for a gymnoclades, she was telling me the botanical name for the tree I'm standing in front of. This is a Kentucky coffee tree, and again, the botanical name is Gymnoclades. And one of the things that I find most interesting about the Kentucky coffee tree, this is even kind of a small leaf. We've got the leaf bud at the base of the leaf here. This has got 30 leaflets on it. But actually, if we could get up in there and look a little closer, we would find some of these would have 80 or 100. So this is probably the leading tree for the most complicated leaf structure I could show you tonight. Kentucky coffee tree. Kentucky coffee tree got its name. Does anybody see any seed pods up in there? There's usually a few.
Right here, up in the yellow part.
Yeah, and gee, look, these are all freshly chewed on. And somebody, I guess, was sated. They left the last couple in here. So another gentleman that used to do tree walks that I attended taught me something very interesting about these. This seed is actually one of the hardest substances known to man. And there is an Asian relative to the coffee tree that actually in Imperial China was drilled and woven together and was used as a basic form of body armor, because these things connected tightly enough, arrows could not penetrate it. So that's a pretty hard seed. Other thing that's interesting about coffee tree is, as I learned in school, people coming across, the settlers, the pioneers, rustic folks trying to scrape a living out of the prairie, found this tree and decided that somehow or another this was a coffee supplement additive. And I'm just really intrigued by that, as were a number of my classmates. So we roasted some of these, ground it up, mixed it with coffee, and it was absolutely terrible. So they must have known something we didn't about how to make it a coffee substitute. That's kind of the tree's claim to fame. Vince was talking earlier about trees that have a coarse texture. Coffee tree is definitely a coarse texture. There's no real good branching pattern. The branches are kind of short and stubby. The bark is kind of unique with this kind of peely, warty scale. And every time I look at it, I hear that woman from George's voice, Gymnoclades. It makes me smile every time I think of it. We've had a number of queries on the oldest tree on campus, so let's go talk about that and take care of these young men here real quick.